Have I ever said something along the lines of it's going to be a long night? Because it's going to be a long night again. Sitting in the mud, hoping that nothing's crawling on my back.
What the?
Jungle survival. These are the cloud forests of the island of Grenada, where fire ants are your nemesis. Fresh water is abundant, but tainted by sulfur, and weather is always unpredictable. My mission is to survive here in this incredibly diverse mountain jungle terrain. The southern Grenada Islands are situated between the Caribbean Sea and the Atlantic Ocean, northeast of Venezuela. Shrouded in mist, the jungle is veiled from the sun by thick blankets of cloud. It is possible to walk out of these hills and down to the coast, but I'm here to test myself in this tropical island jungle.
I'm in Grenada. It's a small island country. That's a group of islands, really. But it's big on nature. It's got tropical, desert-like islands, beautiful palm trees, sandy beaches, and it's got a ridge of mountains running right down the center of the main island. And those mountains are covered in cloud forest. And that's where I've got to survive now. Here, in Grenada. Welcome to the jungle.
In jungles around the world, I've become used to a few things. Being hot, wet, afflicted with rashes and fungus, or constantly bitten, stung, or crawled on. Mostly by ants.
Wow. Now, funny thing about these buttresses on these trees is they look so magical. They actually look inviting, but it's not a good place for me to survive the night. It's just horrible ground, nothing's flat, and a lot of critters like to go in here. Spiders, snakes. Beautiful tree, but not a good place to survive. I'm looking for flat ground. There's always sounds in the jungle, eh? Always sounds. And when you're not familiar with them, they're kind of freaky. Almost got a little clearing here. This will have to do. Rock in the way, but little body-sized area here that's flat. Really got to watch for tok-tok ants. They just crawl along the ground, along the trees. Well, one thing's for sure, you know it when you find one. Okay, I'm gonna have to get used to sitting without sitting, because the ground is always crawling with something.
Ecosystems are living, breathing entities unto themselves, but jungles exemplify this concept and exist as the most rich and obvious example of a land alive and moving.
With the sun going down, I'm not gonna take a lot of time to go through all my pack. I'm gonna do that in the morning. This time, got this guy here. Simple orange garbage bag, because this is a cloud forest. And clouds mean rain. Yeah. I'm gonna need more than this, that's for certain. But I've got a machete.
Each type of landscape requires its own version of a cutting tool that works well. And in the jungle, it's always going to be a machete.
Uh-oh. Oh, here comes the rain. Already. That's not fair. I'm not ready. Oh boy, I can hear it. I do not want to spend the night wet. Not much of a shelter, but it'll have to do. Yeah, here comes some rain. I'm gonna cover up the camera. It can really pelt down here, so. And of course, I got a rip in this. Shoot. That's not good. This is a survival bracelet of sorts. Now, I've brought this out basically to test it out. Rain's coming in, and I need rope. Now, how do I undo this? Okay, so this one actually, the rope is wrapped around a little miniature tinfoil wrapped survival kit inside. Welcome to the world of filmmaking. Just hold off, Rain, hold off. I see a lot of people wearing these bracelets now. I'm a big fan of any survival item that you can wear on your body, carry with you easily and not have to put in a pack. But you gotta learn how to take them apart. With rain threatening, I cut it so I could get it apart faster. I hopefully didn't do something stupid.
It's often thought that there are black and white answers to what someone must do in a survival situation, but there never is. It'll always be an ordeal fraught with variables and circumstances that'll dictate what my next move is. It's equal parts preparation, proactivity, and reacting to whatever I have to face.
This is the little survival kit that comes with it. I'll put you away till a later date. And all I really lost was a piece this big, so obviously I cut it in the right spot to get this rope. This little guy will do, but even a pebble will work. Take it, put it in, wrap the plastic around it. Like this, like this. Put that through. I better start hurrying and stop teaching, because here comes the rain, I think. Oh, you know what? It's actually pouring out there. Oh, you son of a...
Jungle rain rarely announces itself as coming. They just happen every single day.
I'm in it now. I'm in the jungle. I just hope I can survive without getting too soaking wet.
Rain combined with heat brings the potential for rashes and fungus infections.
Jungle rains. I have a feeling that this is the way the week's gonna go.
Rain, lack of sleep, insect bites, injuries. I have to constantly pay attention to the odds stacking up against me.
Well, it stopped raining. Well, there's no way I'm gonna be able to sleep in this cacophony tonight. And the no-see-ums are out and biting. Little tiny biting flies. Lots of them. I'm just gonna wait this night out. Try and find myself a good rock to curl up on tomorrow. Middle of the day. In the shade. That's the thing about survival. You always end up needing to sleep in the middle of the day because you don't really sleep through the nights. And tomorrow night I better have a better shelter.
It's rare that anyone does the right thing on the first night of a survival ordeal. Shelters aren't considered until it's too late. Fire is forgotten until it's too dark to find wood. And inevitably, the scene is set for what comes next. Surviving with little sleep, which compromises my ability to make good decisions.
It rained pretty much all night long. I mean, it was off and on, but when it came down, it bucketed down. I mean, it gave me a few minutes in between each time. I huddled in underneath here, just stayed in real close, and I managed to stay dry just barely. And the major bonus was that all night long, it filled up with rainwater. I just kept guzzling. That one had a bug in it. Ugh. I've got a few items with me here, not much. Backpack to carry my camera gear. Got rain gear, a change of socks, and one t-shirt. I've got my machete and a way to sharpen it. I've got a file with it. Super important. Metal cup. My harmonica. And I had a bottle of water last night, but it's empty now. And if there's some more clean water in here without bugs in it, I'll fill it up. Take some more water with me. I've got to go deeper into the jungle, and here, going deeper means going up. Oh, that's good. And going up, there's not likely to be much water.
On a small jungle island, I've chosen to stay deep in the mountainous interior to survive whatever Grenada has in store for me. But trekking through terrain like this is always tough going, and full of surprises, most of them painful.
That's where I'm headed. Up there. There are little tiny, they call them tracks, little tiny trails riddled throughout these jungles. But it's tough to stay on them. They're small and not very noticeable. Away we go. Straight up.
It's so steep I'm gonna have to use handholds to get up, and I don't have a hand to hold because one's got the camera, the other one's got the machete. Just a morning jaunt. A little stroll in the park. Snap an ankle here. That's the end of it. Nobody's coming to get me. No one will know where to find me. I saw a clearing when I looked up. I was hoping the trail would go over onto this clearing. It's not, it's just going deeper into the jungle. It's so important not to fall into the trap of only traveling the path of least resistance. It can lead you straight into a nightmare. I'm gonna mark my own trail as I go. Make sure I can get back if I have to. It's really important when you blaze a tree that you do give it a good sized blaze. You want it up at eye level too, not down too low. You gotta blaze it on both sides because when you're coming back, you want to be able to see this. If you blaze it as you walk, always on the side you see, you forget to, that's not going to help you. That's only showing where you went, not where you got to get back to. My challenge is to survive in this jungle. My way of survival is always a proactive style. Keep moving, cautiously and slowly. See what I can find. Always searching out the advantages and ways to make survival easier. All right, try to pick out the trail. Not so easy, is it? Oh, yeah. These guys. These guys? Nothing more than a harmless millipede, right? Wrong. These little suckers bite. Get off of me. The trails here are old and unreliable, barely cut out of a jungle that grows constantly, filling in the path you make and covering over the marks left behind by machetes. I think I'm lost. This trail just goes straight down to a river there. And it's a tiny, tiny little trail. I thought I saw another offshoot way back there. I'm gonna backtrack because I don't like where I am, and I don't trust this. The way to take a steep trail down is go sideways. I hate feeling lost. If I have a nemesis in survival, it's my own sense of cockiness. It almost always leads me into dangerous places without many good options. The emotions of frustration and embarrassment compound and conspire to undo many of the better proactive choices I've made up until that point. My experience tells me I should always know where I'm going, but the jungle challenges that constantly. I'm lost again. Trail's going down again. It's not a good sign. I take that back. The trail's disappearing again. And that's a worse sign. Oh, I'm locked in tight here. It can't be said enough. The wrong injury here spelled disaster for me. Just can't let an injury happen. Trekking and even crawling my way through the jungle on the island of Grenada, the need for water starts to become a priority for my exhausted and dehydrated body.